I'm hearing a lot of, as your loved ones have been exploring, being out in the community more and making their own relationships with coworkers and employers and so on, that's really not only just enriching their lives, but also yours as well. And I've also been really impressed with hearing you speak about how encouraging and flexible and open uh, the employers and coworkers have been, with the addition of your loved one to their team. Um, so I really appreciate you mentioning that as well on some of your answers. And did any of you have anything more about that you'd like to share or expound upon?
I'd like to share something about that that may be helpful to others. Again, his love of life, I think, is sports, and there came a time where I had to accept the fact that he wasn't gonna, even though he loved it, he loved watching it, he loved, being involved in it, being at activities. There came a point where I had to accept as a parent, he's not going to be able to participate in sports, right? It's a safety situation for him. And then he's got older. That was not a possibility. But I kept an open mind and I kept an open heart with him, and I kept striving to help give him that opportunity to have that experience in some way. And one day I just called the student services department at our local high school, and one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. Next thing you know, he's volunteering on all the high school sports teams: football, basketball, soccer, baseball. The school district absolutely adores him, loves him. He's part of their community. He's volunteered, aside from the years he was in college, he's volunteered for 6 years now total. He goes with the teams on the buses. He just thrives in that environment. So what was maybe a lot of parents would consider a negative, that would and stop there, and like, well, he can't play sports, that's it. But you have to look beyond. You got to go outside the box. And I said, I'm going to help him find a way to experience this, even though he can't be on that football field in pads. He absolutely loves it. It's his passion. And just explored the avenues to make that happen for him. And he's been a thriving participant in that arena for 6 years. And there's other ways and there's other possibilities to give your child the experiences that bring them happiness, that bring them joy and fulfillment, outside of what we think as a parent, what we expected our child to be doing, what we wanted our child to be doing. So I just encourage, again, keep an open heart, keep an open mind, and think of other opportunities that you could place your child in different ways that for their interests and the things that they like. That it's not just one way, it's not the norm way, it's not a one-lane road. There's a lot of different ways that you can bring about these possibilities for your child.
Back to what Rebecca was saying about thinking outside the box, totally agree. Our son loved working with kids at camp. I mean, he loved camps. He would go away to different camps when he was younger. And then as he got older, I mean, he'd go to there was just a variety of camps. It might be a sports camp, it might be something. He'd go and he really had great time, sometimes just a single day, sometimes, a week where you would drive them there. Boy Scout camps, different things. He really liked going to camp. Well, when he got older, he couldn't go to camp no more. I mean, he aged out and he was so disappointed. Well, what happened was we went to that camp and he became a junior counselor. So he wasn't like the counselor in charge of a group. He supported the counselor of that group. And he found his niche doing that. He did that for a couple years as a summer job at a local camp. Totally loved it. He got a chance to work with the kids, be a part of camp, but he wasn't in charge. He was, he had someone that he answered to. And then later years, same thing. He loved there was a group called Young Life. Loved Young Life, but again, he aged out, and he was so disappointed because they went on camping trips, they did things, and they always had so much fun. And so same thing happened, and because he had aged out, it turned out there was a leadership course offered at Miami University. They let him go. It was an 8-week course. They let him participate to be trained as a leader. Part of the training required memorization of stuff, and he couldn't memorize. So they let him do a verbal, like more of a explain something, to not memorize, but explain, what did this say? You know, kind of more, they modified it. And he became a junior leader and still got to go on weekends, still got to go to camp, but then he became a buddy to somebody there with a disability. He was going, it was part of Capernaum, Young Life. They had a Capernaum group, which is centered around kids with disabilities. But then he became the adult buddy, but he understood where that that camper was coming from with their disability. He could understand them and relate to them, but he had gone through some leadership training. So one of the things that came out of that was, during one of the camps, one of the leaders during the Capernaum camp, they were talking, and he said, "You need to slow down. You're talking too fast for all of us." So he was able to give the leaders some pointers as to helping to relate to the kids that were going to camp. So it was like, that was a total thinking out of the box. I mean, never expected anything like that to happen, but just taking that experience that they love and maybe can't do like the normal route would be, but finding that route that works with the individual.